Hi everyone, welcome to Wise Words. This is Karine. All right. This evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever or whatever time it is in your land right now, I just want to greet you. Good, good and happy Friday. All right. This story, our wise words that I want to come to you with today is taken from Second Kings, right? And it's basically a story about the king Hezekiah. And the reason why I wanted to highlight the story is that it really resonates with me. And also, I'm sure there are a lot of persons out there right now who this story can really resonate with whatever they might be going through at this time, right? And this story really teaches us that when we put God first, He will fight for us. All right. So there was this king by the name of Hezekiah, right? He became king after his father died, right? And he became king at the age of 25 years old. He reigned for 29 years. And this king Hezekiah, he did what was pleasing in the sight of God, right? Because he followed after his ancestor David, and he tried to please God in every way, right? When he took over the reins, right? And some of the things that Hezekiah did that was pleasing to God are: one, he destroyed all the idol worship in Judah when he took over, as the Lord has decreed. 'Cause you know the Lord hate idol worshiping. He hates when we as his children have other gods, right, in front of him, right? So Hezekiah, he destroyed all of these idol worshiping practices. Also, he opened the door of the temple of the Lord and he repaired it, right? And he also modeled true worship. He reminded the people to rid their hearts of false worship practices. He also commanded the Levites to consecrate themselves, because as we know that the Levites were the ones responsible to carry out different tasks in the temple. So in order to carry out different tasks, they had to he ordered them to go consecrate themselves, right? And also he commanded he removed all the defilement, all the stuff that was in the sanctuary that God was not pleased about. So he cleaned out the temple of the Lord, right? And he restored true worship back in Judah after he became king. So now the story continues, because guess what? At the same time that Hezekiah was king, there was king of Judah and Jerusalem. There was a king at the same time ruling who was the king of Assyria. Now this Assyrian king, he was feared by many other kings. He defeated a whole lot of kingdoms, right, and took the persons captive, right? Now, this king became a threat to Hezekiah. This king, he sent word to Hezekiah that he was planning to overthrow Judah at that time. So he sent out a demand of money that he wanted, the sum of money. And when that sum of money was given unto him, he still did not withdraw his threat. He still threatened to attack Judah, right? So Hezekiah, right, sought help from, because this king he taunted the Hezekiah's men. He taunted them. Who are you going to turn to? Where are you going to get help? You are very weak. Don't you see how many kingdoms we have overthrown, right? So we are very powerful. What are you going to do? It's best if you just give in. But Hezekiah would not give in. Hezekiah, he went to sort out Isaiah, because Isaiah was a prophet in that time, a man of the Lord, hearing from God. So Hezekiah, right, went to Isaiah and told him about what was happening, and asked Isaiah to pray to God for them to be delivered out of the hands of this king, or not to be attacked by this king, right? And also after that, now the Isaiah, he prayed and he said to Hezekiah, do not worry, do not worry, the Lord is going to come through for you. And also this king sent a message to Hezekiah, telling Hezekiah, said, listen, um you are going to be, the way we are going to deal with you, you are going to be so hungry that you have to go eat the dung that you guys pass out, and all the very pee, you're going to have to drink that pee, the way we want to deal with you. So because the men, they heard these things, right, and they knew that this king was powerful because he had overthrown so many kingdoms, right, the men, they started to be in despair, and this it's like they got nervous. But guess what? Hezekiah knew the God he served, and knew that the God he served was all powerful, almighty, right? Because, and when Isaiah brought back word to Hezekiah, he said, listen, the Lord said, don't worry, do not be in fear, do not fear this king, because guess what? I allowed this king of Assyria to overthrow this kingdom, because these persons that he overthrew, they were worshipping idols. So it's not powerful that King Assyria, the king of Assyria was powerful. I, the Lord, allowed it to happen, right? Because they were not worshipping me. They had all of these idols, right? But you do not worry, because you see that king, I am going to allow, that king is going to die. That king, the same road that king he come in, I am going to allow him to go back from where he's coming from, and he's going to die. And the Lord, he sent message, and he told Isaiah to tell Hezekiah, said, listen, you do not worry, and you won't be, those enemies, not even a sword will be drawn, nothing will be, no weapon will be drawn against Judah. You don't even have to fight in this battle, right? that night that night, because they encamped up, right out of the gates of Judah, all these Assyrian men, the soldiers. That night, the Lord sent an angel, and 185,000 men, soldiers of the Assyrian soldiers, were killed that night. The angels passed through and slew 185,000 of those soldiers. When the others woke up and realized that there were dead bodies all around, they fled. And the king, when he fled, he broke camp and he fled also, and went back to where he came from. And while the king was there worshiping his God, his two sons came in and struck him with sword and killed him. So you realize that Hezekiah and his men, the men of Jerusalem and the men of Judah, did not even have to lift a straw, because the Lord fight their battles for them. So this goes to show, because Hezekiah was so faithful to God. Hezekiah loved God and loved the things of God and wanted whatever wrong, because even Hezekiah's father, Ahaz, he was a friend of the king of Syria, and he did a lot of wrong things, and he was caught up in so many things that was not pleasing unto God. But his son that took over, he made it his mandate to right whatever wrong was being done against the Lord, to make it right and to please the Lord in his walk, to please the Lord in everything that he did. But listen to me, you see, when your ways please the Lord, even your enemy is made to be at peace with you. So I want to encourage someone today. It doesn't matter what circumstance you may be faced with. It doesn't matter what you may be going through. right? You try ensure that your ways please the Lord, and as long as your ways please the Lord, as long as whatever you are doing is in line with the Lord, He will fight your battle for you. Just I remember in the story, because I skipped out some part because it's so long, so you have to read Second Kings with that story when you have time for yourself. Because even in the story, when they sent the message to Hezekiah, when the king of Assyria sent the message to Hezekiah, right? He took the letter and he went in the church. He went in the temple and he kneeled down with the letter and he prayed to God over that letter. He prayed to God and he worshiped God and he prayed to him and he said, God, they write me this letter, God. They sent me this message, and I know that you are God Almighty. You are the one true God. So, God, I want you to send a message. I want you to come in a way in which other kingdoms and everyone else will recognize that you are the one true God. And God really did it. 185,000 of the soldiers were slain, and Hezekiah didn't have to lift a straw. The battle is the Lord's. So, whatever circumstance you're being faced with right now, whatever may be the prognosis, whatever may be the diagnosis, do not be afraid. Give it to the Lord. Pray to the Lord. Cry to the Lord. He will deliver you out of your circumstance. He knows the opportune time. He knows the right time. When what man give over, God do not give it over. Never a late time for God. He is an on-time God. It may seem late for us. It may seem as if time is running out. It may seem as if the back is against the wall. It may seem as if there is no way out. It may seem slippery. It may seem dark. But listen to me. There is hope in King Jesus. He knows the right time to come in. He knows the right time to set free. He knows the right time to heal. He knows the right time to deliver. He knows the right time. He's an on-time God. And remember, our time is different from his timing. Listen to me. Our thoughts, our way of thinking, our mindset, everything is different from God. Our thoughts is limited. His thoughts is unlimited. And he's able to do exceedingly even more abundantly than what we can even think or ask of him. Listen to me. And not because he came to rescue us in this way when we were going through our circumstance, meaning that we expect him to come to our rescue in the same way. He moves in so many different ways. So today, the wise word I want to leave with you is taken from Exodus 14 verse 14. Forgive me for the noise. It's taken from Exodus. I hope you still can hear me. It's taken from Exodus 14 verse 14. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. He will fight for you. Just ensure that you are in right alignment with God and your ways pleases the God. He will fight for you. This is Karine for another session of Wise Words. Be blessed.